Now that AstraZeneca has not only pulled its vaccine from the global market, but has also admitted in court that its novel COVID-19 shot does in fact cause blood clots, something fact checkers once told us wasn't true, it's important to point out this particular shot was the subject of serious manufacturing issues that Health Canada should have caught before rubber stamping the fast-tracked pharmaceutical product that saw over 3 million doses delivered in Canada. See, back at the onset of the pandemic, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told Canadians that there would be no end to the civil liberty infringing purported to be about public health measures until a vaccine was available. And by the spring of 2021, he even went so far as to showcase himself and his now estranged wife receiving one of these AstraZeneca novel COVID-19 shots, with the rhetoric at the time being that the safest shot is the first one available to you.
Vaccines are the path out of this pandemic. And that's why securing doses and getting them to the front lines is my #1 priority. Yesterday, you may have heard that the White House is talking about sending Canada 1.5 million doses of AstraZeneca. Now we're still working out the details, but I look forward to having a pharmacist give me my vaccine as soon as we can secure an appointment in the proper processes. So we'll keep you posted on it. But my experience every year at the nearby pharmacy getting the flu shot is always unbelievably positive. And if I can encourage folks to know that it's safe and indeed it's the right thing to do, I'm looking forward to that.
Less than 2 months later, and Trudeau was questioned on his advice after the discovery of clotting issues with this particular brand, prompting Health Canada to suspend its use in anyone under the age of 55.
Do you think will that change the way you give advice about vaccines in future? And finally, what would you say to the Canadians who, based on your advice 2 weeks ago, went out and had that AstraZeneca shot?
The advice given by health professionals, the advice that I gave, was that the right vaccine for you is the very first vaccine that is offered. And Health Canada continues to ensure the safety and effectiveness of any vaccine administered in Canada. As we've seen over the past number of weeks, there are different recommendations and limitations given in as the science evolves. But every step of the way, the recommendations that Health Canada makes and that I and other politicians pass along, because none of us are vaccine experts, but we are there to help amplify the messages by Health Canada that vaccines are safe and effective and that everyone needs to get vaccinated with whatever vaccine is offered to them as quickly as possible.
Chief Public Health Officer of Canada, Theresa Tam, even went so far as to acknowledge that adverse events won't be known until the experiment is executed on millions of people.
Every medication or vaccine can come with rare side effects, which will not be picked up until many millions of people receive the vaccine. The initial clinical trial with tens of thousands will not pick up rare events. So I think the important thing, to emphasize to everyone is that we have systems and checks and balances in place. But please do remember that over the course of the administration of the vaccine to many millions of people in the world, if there should be any new signals, we will be communicating that after a thorough examination. But science will continue to evolve in this space.
It turns out that the science was settled until, I guess, it wasn't. In that time, it became clear that Health Canada lacked the oversight necessary to regulate these products. Instead, they repeatedly took the pharmaceutical profiteers at their word. Health Canada said that AstraZeneca assured the government a contamination event at the emergent plant that led to a recent FDA inspection had no impact on the 1.5 million doses of its vaccine shipped here. That came from Health Canada spokesperson Anna Madison, the same one who told me that DNA contaminants in Pfizer's shots are apparently non-functional and well below the World Health Organization thresholds, while simultaneously asking Pfizer to remove this apparently benign fragment and asking them for their sizing parameters, regulators, which the pharma oligarch said that they don't have a test for. By the summer of 2021, it was reported that the Baltimore facility received Health Canada's rubber stamp based on European regulatory certification, which determined it complied with good manufacturing practices. But it was based on a remote inspection that focused on a part of the facility not actually producing the AstraZeneca shots. The US FDA halted production at the factory 3 weeks later due to unsanitary conditions and poorly trained staff at the plant. Canadian professor and expert in drug regulation Joel Lechin is quoted as saying that Health Canada typically relies heavily on foreign regulators, and perhaps if Health Canada had done their due diligence, instead of blindly following foreign regulators utilizing remote inspections, they would have recognized the red flags around this factory run by the questionable American multinational biopharmaceutical company Emergent Biosolutions. Emergent had documented quality control issues as early as 2011. And when inspectors have visited Emergent sites, they have found issues more than 90% of the time. A report by the House of Representatives Select Committee on the Coronavirus Crisis in May 2022 showed that Emergent destroyed nearly 400 million doses of coronavirus vaccines as a result of their failure to meet or maintain quality standards, and hid evidence of contamination from government inspectors. Around the time that these shots were rolling out to the general public, provincial health data was showing serious adverse events reports that were upwards of 4 times higher than other and comparable manufacturers. Adverse events following immunization data from Public Health Ontario show that AstraZeneca's Vaxzevria/Covishield injection had a total adverse event reporting rate per 100,000 doses administered of 156.3, with serious reporting rates per 100,000 doses at 12.2. For reference, Pfizer sits at 3, Moderna at 4.1, and the average of all products combined is 3.2. How many people, such as Kevin Street, who suffered debilitating and life-altering reactions following his dose, were a result of contaminants, subpar bad manufacturing, and reckless quality control? Hundreds of thousands of Canadians received this product in good faith, yet there is significant evidence that it was tainted. This concern persists despite a statement from Health Canada on April 25th, 2021, saying that they have verified the 1.5 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine imported into Canada from this facility met quality specifications. The department reviewed test results of all vaccine lots, as well as the company's quality control steps to mitigate potential risks of contamination. I've filed an access to information request to obtain those test results and quality control steps. If you'd like to pitch in to support that work, please visit rebelinvestigates.com. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. Stay up to date of our coverage on these novel injections at nomoreshots.ca. At that website, you can also send a forum email to Federal Health Minister Mark Holland, calling on him to revoke market authorization for these injections. And there, of course, you can also consider donating to support this work. All of that at nomoreshots.ca.